Hey Matt, welcome to the MasterCard Cup. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through. We'll put you back in your dress position and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back here in your dress position, let's first of all take a look at your posture. So your spine's reasonably pretty straight and on a nice tilt. Your legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Arms hang down nice and naturally off your tilted spine. The club works out to the ball. So pretty good posture here. Also in association with pretty good balance. Next thing I want to observe has to do with your alignment. We see your feet aiming in this direction, so they're a little bit closed. Carry that out towards the fairway. Theoretically, your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet. Parallel lines on camera would have an appearance to converge. And with that conversion, we can see that you're set up definitely to hit the ball out over these trees to the right. Meanwhile, the center of the fairway is back over here by your forearms. So we're going to see some form of a compensation in your golf swing that's going to get that ball, or hopefully get that ball, back to yellow. That means you're either going to swing the club on plane, start the ball at red or slightly inside, and hopefully flip the hands, impart some right to left spin, and be able to draw or hook the ball back on line. If we don't see that you swing the club on plane and flip your hands, then you're going to have to come over the top. And that means you're going to attack the ball from outside to inside, trying to pull the golf ball back on line. I suspect that's more the move we're probably going to see from you, because if we take a look at the rest of your alignment in conjunction with your feet, what we can see is that you're stacking your upper body open to your lower body. So I'll carry through with your knees here. They're running in the same direction as your feet. That's great. Your hips are the only thing that's really running parallel to the center of the fairway. And then notice how we can see your left arm underneath your right arm. This tells us that your forearms are open. So if I were going to lay an alignment tool on your forearms are going left, as are your shoulders. So you're stacking your upper body open to your lower body, because your brain knows you're aimed out to the right, but yet the center of the fairway is back to the left. At this point in time, we'll go ahead and do a little split screen comparison between you and Jordan Spieth. Got some color-coded lines on the screen just to use as a visual reference as it pertains to swing plane. First thing I want you to notice that the postures are quite similar, but notice the alignments are very different. Again, your feet are going way right, and then notice your upper body, your shoulders and arms are going way left. He has all his alignments going in the same direction: feet, knees, hips, forearms, and shoulders. As we initiate the takeaway, simply want to rotate the shoulders, draw the arms and hands back as well as the club, and we want the club coming back on plane directly along the red line. We also want to establish some good wrist hinge into play, whereby we're going to transition the club head from currently being below and in front of our hands to getting this club head above and behind our hands. This is a very, very important transitional move in the takeaway. From here, we're now going to work the club from red up towards the yellow-blue V zone. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, we either want to have the left arm and the club situated on the yellow line, anywhere in between the blue-yellow V zone, or physically up on blue as we see with Jordan Spieth. We also want to have full shoulder rotation, do this upon a stable right side while maintaining our posture axis that we created at address. Let's go ahead and take a look at your backswing here. So the first move is to sort of pop your hands up and out. So the club shaft, top of it anyways, goes outside of plane, as does the club head a little. From here it looks like we're going to get a bit of a disconnect between the club and your arms. So your arms are moving out while we're flipping the club in. And we can see that the club is swinging back inside and shallow. At this point in time, we really have to make sure that we establish some good wrist hinge into play to get this golf club back in a half-decent position, which you're doing right here. And hopefully in the next few frames, we're back in a reasonably good position, which we are. So this is great. As we continue to the top, let's see where your arms travel to. So by the time you get to here, really good shoulder rotation, nice stable right side. So again, at the top here we can see really good turn, stable right side, rotating off really, really good posture. Your arms are still in really good position relative to your core. Nice triangular formation in your arms. Club's in pretty decent position relative to your arms, but obviously a little bit across the line there, pointed out to the right. And that's because your feet are aimed in that direction. From here, as we create our transition back into the ball, simply want to move our weight from our right foot to our left. Want to fire our knees and our hips laterally to the target. And we want to move the golf club from the blue-yellow V zone, wherever we set it, back down on top of red. And that's exactly what we see here with Jordan Spieth. The golf club is returning back to being on plane. The other thing we want to observe at this stage of the golf swing is the relationship between the lead form and the golf club. We refer to this as the backwards check mark. It simply means that the club head right now is remaining above and behind his hands coming into the hitting zone, and this is what's going to allow him to create a lot of power in his golf swing, let alone his ability to hit the ball straight because the club is returned back to plane, which is a main criteria in producing straight golf shots. So let's watch your transition back into the ball here. Hands unfortunately come over the top. So it's a pretty severe over the top move, hands down yellow out towards blue. So this is your compensation. So we're not swinging the club on plane then flipping the hands to impart right to left spin and hook the ball back on line. We're coming over the top, we're going to attack the ball from out to in, and we're going to try and pull the ball back on line. So let's come on down into the next frame. Let's go one more. So right here at this point in time, what we can do is we can just simply take a look at your club head. We simply know that the club head is not returning back to plane. And as we go into the next frame, that golf club is going to fall further and further out in front of you. So we go to the next frame, it's here, next frame, now we're outside of the ball. So if we simply connect the dots here, we can get a pretty good visual sense of just how that club descended into the ball, and because it's coming over the top, just how steep it's coming into the ball, and therefore, again, attacking the ball from outside. At this point in time, we can take a look at Jordan Spieth. His club, as already pointed out, has returned to plane. That would be your frame right here. And then from this position, he comes into the golf ball directly from the red line. And as already stated, this is what produces straight golf shots in accordance to our alignment. Lastly, assuming the club face squares up via having a good grip. So three things we need in order to hit the ball straight. We need good alignment. Feet have to run parallel left of the target, as do the knees, hips, forearms, and shoulders. The club has to return down on the plane if we want to hit the ball straight based on that alignment. And then the club face has to square up via having a good grip if we want it all to come together. So seeing that downswing planes are vastly different here, we can go ahead and take a look at the pass of the club. We can see Jordan's club is inside the ball, expanding out to make contact, and moving through in a nice natural subtle arc. Your club is attacking the ball from the outside, dropping down and across to make contact. Look at the path at which that club is tracking. So very simply put, if we square the club face up to that path, we can pull the ball back to the left. And this is exactly what you're hoping for. You're hoping to pull that ball back towards the center of the fairway. Because we had mentioned, once again, if we go back to address, we had already stated that your alignment was out to the right. We were set up to hit the golf ball out in this direction. We mentioned there was going to be some form of compensation. The compensation is swinging that golf club from outside to inside, and we're ultimately trying to pull the ball back to the red flag. If we happen to over-release the club to this path, not only will we pull the ball, but we'll also hit some form of a pull hook or pull drop. If we under-release the club to the same path, we'll hit some form of a pull slice. If we time it perfectly, we'll hit what I've referred to as a pull straight shot that will go straight down the red arrow. It may have a little bit of draw or a little bit of fade resembling the blue or yellow, but just not to the severity that we're seeing on the screen if we over-release the club or under-release the club. So let's get back to impact here with your club just before the golf ball, knowing it's coming from the outside. And let's check out and see what you actually did with your club face. So club face is squaring up pretty nicely through that impact zone. We can definitely see that ball is headed out over here, back to the left. It's actually headed left of the center of the fairway. So hopefully that club face stayed a little bit open. We're imparting a little bit of left to right spin on the ball, and we'll be able to hit a nice soft fade that will find the intended target. Overall, really nice athletic looking golf swing here from you. Your hands work really, really well. They come back, they fire through. Your core works great. You coil, you uncoil. You've got great footwork allowing you to get through to a good finish. All of that athleticism looks really, really superb. But like I said, if we want to be consistent, there's three things we need. We have to aim well, we have to bring the club down on plane, and we have to square the face up. Unfortunately, you're not doing any three of those criteria. We're aiming too far out to the right. This causes you to have to compensate. So when you get to the top of your backswing, you got to come over the top, attack the ball from out to in, and try and pull that ball back to the left. At that point in time, you better associate a perfect club face position through the hitting zone in order to pull this off. Again, if we over-release the club, that ball's going way too far left. Under-release the club, going too far right. And if we time it okay, like I said, you'll either hit a pull straight shot, a subtle pull fade, or a subtle pull drop. Anyways, at any point in time you ever want to work on any of these aspects of your golf game, feel free to reach out. I'm over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. Be happy to set up a program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all, you guys are looking for a unique gift to provide your guests, feel free to touch base. Be happy to discuss my swing analysis services. Anyways, hope you had a fabulous day, and hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. Take care.